As you probably know, we report to the state 3 times a year. EPIMS happens to be one of 3 reports that are due in October that are all now, thanks to Race to the Top initiatives, all tied together. So it's the SIMS 52 report, which is the student report with 52 data elements that includes everything from their birthday to if they get free and reduced lunch, if they have SPED services, if they're Title I, goes on and on. The EPIMS report is the one that we do on our staff. There's actually 2 pieces to that report. It's the staff report, which includes everyone in the district except for custodians and cafeteria workers. And that includes their education, any licensing they have, and their position within the district.
And if they're
Highly qualified is in the next report, which is the work assignment roster. So that's for basically teaching staff. And we say, what course are you teaching? Are you highly qualified for that course? And what percentage of your day does that particular assignment take up? It's fun. And then the student course schedule report, we were a pilot district for this last year, but that is all of the students with all of the courses that they take. And for every course that's listed there, there better be a matching one on the teacher's side, if you get how that matches up. So it's sort of like this 3-way check.
Tracks everybody,
checks,
where they are the entire day, where the teacher is, where the children are, if they're on break, if they're on lunch, at all points of the day, you know exactly where they are.
Again, all tied into the Race to the Top. And additionally, that in June, the student course schedule will also include final grades in this district for middle school and high school students. The state hasn't figured out a way to do standards-based reporting of grades yet. Can't wait till they do. But what you have a copy of in your packet is one of the EPIMS reports. And it all kind of boils down to we lost 3.2 administrative positions. The instructional staff, it's a little bit more difficult to read because the state has changed codes, the way things should be coded from the pilot year to this year. So for example, last year you'll see that we had 5 tutors. This year those tutors who were last year mostly teachers are actually listed as teachers of support content instruction. They just, as people ask questions, they sort of refined each of these roles. Last year it was your best guess or whatever you needed to put down to get the report through. And with all of the shifts in the district, some people move from one, instructional staff to support, special ed, and back. But it all boils down to we lost about 6 instructional staff. Not the paraprofessionals not included in that, but what we would consider in the teachers bargaining unit. And then paraprofessionals, we're up about 5 full-time employees there, mostly due to Title I, ARA,
and SPED.
And SPED. So that's how that all sort of boils down. Any questions on this?
The one thing I would like to mention is how much these 2 ladies worked, and I have to give them kudos because I know they were asking questions the state wasn't even asking, and therefore when the reports would come out, things wouldn't work, but they knew that wasn't going to work, so they would go tell the state, so the state would have to fix their reports on their end. So in actuality, they helped the whole state get these reports done, and we were one of the first to get it completed and submitted and done well. So I have to give them credit. They did spend a tremendous amount of time on this.
We did find one mistake.
Yeah, we only have one on the mistake.
We don't have 1.8 total psychologists in the district. We actually have a school adjustment counselor, special ed here at the high school, which It's the next number up. It was a misclick. We'll fix it in the next report.
No, we already did. We fixed it today.
Yeah, we fixed it, but it'll go out in the next report. But just in case you look really close and say, he hired 1.8 psychologists. No.
I did not.
But
Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much. Okay, letter E, the review of the high school graduation rate and college application process. Mrs. Tudela?
Excuse me. Yes. I don't know if Mike got one of these. Did he pick up one of these when he came in?
You can have,
Do you have an extra?
you keep that for yours.
I have more.
You keep that. Okay. I know where to get that.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Normally, at about this time of the year, the DESC publishes the graduation rates for the class of 2010, but as of today, it's still unavailable. So if we want to put that to a later meeting, we could talk about it then when we have the accurate figures from the department. Okay? But
we do have.
we do have, in terms of the college application process, one of the things that we work very hard at Westport High School is making sure that the college application is not just an event, that it is in fact a process. So we do have a series of activities that we go through with students beginning in grade 9, ending in grade 12. And the members of the guidance department are here tonight, and each one of them will talk a little bit about what happens at each grade level to give you that picture of getting students ready for colleges. So I'll start with grade 9 and Mrs. Fallows.
As you can see, there isn't a lot of particular things for the college per se. I consider it a transition year, as it was for me. I was at the middle school for 10 years, and this is my first year at the high school as the freshman counselor. So when I meet with the students, I know what they came from and what was expected there, so I try to go over things that are now expected in the high school and the different demands that are expected from them in their courses. We talk about a 4-year plan, which pretty much for the first year is just the courses they've already been selected for them from coming up from the middle school, and then get them to start thinking about what they may want to do as they go forward and think about college and their career path and how the courses they take from their freshman year on will impact that. We go over attendance because that's a little bit different from other years maybe, and make them know how important it is for them to be in school so they don't miss the instruction, and how it affects their credits if there's too many of them out, too many times out. Then kind of give a general standards of what 4-year colleges are looking for, or 2 years depending on what their interest is. I know you brought up special needs before at IEP meetings. That's always discussed in your plan, what their vision is for their future, so they get a yearly review of that as well, and then I speak with those students as well. And then in March, we'll be doing course selection, so we'll meet with the students. I think it's a course selection night, from what I understand, and the freshmen will pick their courses for the following year based on what they've taken this year and what they may want to get into as they move forward. And in June, they'll do the science MCAS. So I do tend to pay a lot of attention to the physical science grades as the year goes on to see if they need help or tutors if they're not doing as well, because that's a big impact on them when they take the MCAS in June.
Is this done as a big? Is this done as a big group
MCAS?
Session, or the meetings
The
with them?
4-year plan?
The 4-year plan.
Individual as much
every
as
kid gets in front of
possible.
a counselor.
Right. I will be doing the freshmen, but then depending on how we separate next year, whatever counselor has them. would
So a child
go
will see
on
a
with
counselor
us.
at least one time for 4 years, at minimum.
Probably a lot more than.
A lot more than, but at least
One time.
they're in front of a counselor at least
Right.
once every year.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.